welcome back to another video, guys. So this is the continuation of the urban exploring of the Gypsy Caravan Park, but it is the next day. Unfortunately, I got tied up with things and had to leave it, so we're actually in a better spot. We're down by the River Hamble, and we'll just set up the hammock and we'll go check it out. But this is what we're looking at. A little bit gloomy today, but I'll flip you around and show you the views. Typical, just as I started taking a photograph and showing you guys, it started raining, so I had to quickly whip a temporary tarp up, but it's I think it's just going to be on and off, so you know, at least we can sit under it and get our brew going now. So that's what I'm going to do. Mouth's dry, and yeah, just going to get a brew going. So there's all our gear, a couple bottles of water, coffee kit and a few snacks and stuff, cup, spoon, cooking stuff, gas. Let's get a brew going. So all this gear, hammock, tarp, cook set, burner, all cheap off Amazon. So you know, it's easy to just pick things up cheap. I think that was like 30 quid. It's a 20 quid tarp. You know, what's this, like, I don't know, like 20 quid maybe? You know, getting out camping and doing this sort of thing is it can be cheap. You know, you don't have to all have all the Gucci gear, you know, all the Rab jackets and all this sort of stuff. If you are just like, you know, casual to it and you want a few bits and pieces, like Vinted, mate, you know what I mean? You get some decent second-hand stuff on Vinted, you know, there's no shame in it. No one knows, you know, unless you tell them, you know. But yeah, even you can pick some stuff up cheap, you know, decent branded stuff, but it ain't about all that. It ain't about the logo and the brand. But yeah, camping don't have to be money, you know. It's more supposed to be about the adventure and getting outside, you know. I know there's bluebells around this spot, so before anyone crucifies me about it, in a couple of weeks there's going to be cows in this field, and they come through here down to the river and all that. I'll show you about later on. You can see all the animals come down here and graze and stuff, so this is going to get absolutely mullered in a minute. Ordinarily I won't go sit on a load of bluebells, but it was windy as you like down there. Trees are not ideal space to put the hammock up. You know, you've got a massive tree, and then you've got a little tree, then you've got a little bush, and you just can't string it up. So this is the only one that I can kind of make work here, and it's quiet, it's out of the way, I ain't gonna be disturbed here. You know, but oh yeah, ordinarily I wouldn't be sitting on bluebells. So we're going for New York coffee, 3-in-1, salted caramel. I think that's a home bargain special, you know. So in here, guys, all I've literally got is coffees, tea bags, a little bit of chewing gum flavoured water. Weird. Some chewing gum, some steri tabs, some waterproof matches, and a packet of beef jerky. Some of this is like out of a British Army ration pack, so that's why it's in this nifty little bag. I just keep it because it's ideal, you know. Just a little extra sweetener. Put that in there. Cheers, guys. Yeah, so this river is called the River Hamble, and it's in between Southampton and the next closest sort of city is Portsmouth, but it's more on the Fareham side. So you've got Fareham, and then you've got all the surrounding like little regions and little towns and stuff that are in between, but Hampshire. So yeah, and it's a lovely little river. It's got a lot of history and stuff going back a couple 100 years, you know, like, well, a long history. But going back, you know, you've got the Vikings would have come up and down this river, you know, and they did attack Bishop's Waltham, which is up there. So yeah, you know, and obviously Winchester's not far away. So, you know, all that Vikings and Saxon stuff. But yeah, it's fascinating, you know, to think, you know, you sat here having a cup of tea, but then, you know, hundreds of years ago, warships are going up and down here with a load of Larry Vikings in there. See what I mean, guys? So all the cows and everything, they all come round here, traipse through here. Chill out in here when it's nice and hot. Yeah, basically we got the river to the right, and then around here is their big field. And he'll have them in here. I would imagine in a couple of weeks. They're usually in here for the summer. Sweet. But all of that is tidal, so bog down, mate. I have walked across here before and I did get stuck. But yeah, I did look along here to put the hammock up, but it's just too exposed on this side. The wind would be whipping me. All of this up here is pretty bogged and just not ideal, and the trees are not ideally spaced. But yeah, so over that other side, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a tree here, like a fallen tree. That's a popular spot. You get a lot of people there. This, where are we here? This little inlet, that's a popular spot around there. But you will get rangers and stuff from that side, like moving you on if you're doing barbecues or any form of open fire or anything like that. It's just not allowed that side. But yeah, it's this lovely little spot. And there's nice walks over that side. I set my hammock up last time. Sorry about the wobble there. But here there's this tree and this tree, and I set my hammock up along there, and obviously there's like a gradient, where I hung the hammock, obviously that higher level is accessible for people walking that side. And I was setting my hammock up, and obviously I'm lower down, and literally a dog ran up into my face and was barking its ass off at me. And yeah, it's just no good. Like, you're trying to chill out over there, and obviously people walking their dogs in that bit of wood, and yeah, run up on me, made me jump, because obviously it's in my fucking
Bruh.
Sorry about the language, in my face, but you know, is what it is, I suppose. But the rain's just come back in. But it's still nice and warm. It's not amazingly warm, but you know, you could walk about with a t-shirt on. Yeah, check out the sky. There's some dirty clouds up in there. So that's what she is. Overmont. But yeah, you know, it comes with the carabiners, 2 carabiners, 2 straps, guy lines, and I think a couple of pegs, but I put all my pegs in one pack, so I've got spare pegs if I ever need them for whatever, you know. But like I said, all of this Amazon, you know, cheap as you like. I think probably you're looking at like no more than sort of 50 quid for the tarp and the thing. And this was just a cheap tarp that I bought just to chuck over a tent when we went to Wales last year, and I haven't really used it since. I used the camo one more, but look, you know, it does the job. That's all you want from something that you get, you know. It stops the water from getting on you, and that's it. You know, it's not coming through. It's seam sealed, you know. Enough little tie off points. But yeah, it's all right. You know, it shouldn't be a chore to buy all this stuff. It shouldn't be expensive. You know, it's a hobby. It's something that you do just to get out in nature and enjoy. And you know, realistically, if you can get it cheap and it does the job, why would you spend stupid hundreds of quid for something? You know, don't have to be that way. Right guys, I'm going to get packed away. Unfortunately, I can't stay here tonight. But let me know, do you want me to come back here and hammock camp? I mean, I could get a tent in here. What do you want to see? Hammock? Tent? You know, let me know. It's a lovely spot and it would be good to come back and camp in here, but I'm going to get packed away and I'll get back on the trail and I'll catch you in a bit. So there we go guys, everything's packed up, back on its original things. Hammock, tarp, that's my tent pegs and all my straps and spare cords and things, and the little ground sheet just there, and then all of that goes into this bag, in my bag, and then we're all good. But yeah, the only thing I'd say is for the ground sheet, this stuff sack could probably be a little bit bigger, but you know, it all goes back in there, but it would just be easier if it was a little bit bigger just to stuff it in, you know, for a hasty retreat. But yeah, I'm going to get this packed all back in the bag and then we'll get back on the track. Yes. Right guys, we're all packed up. As you can see, I'm going to say it. You know what I'm going to say. I'm going to say it. Leave no trace other than the big flat spot and the memories. Yeah. Come on, I'll show you this sketchy thing to come over here. It is smashing it down now, just as I was leaving. Okay, so we got to cross this, and if I fall in, it's your fault because I want to try and film going across. Right, now it's nice and wet and everything. Okay, let's get it. Okay, so the river is tidal, and when I crossed earlier on, this was all full through here. Right. This is the slippery bit. This bit usually gets full of water. Right. Okay, we're across. Nice. Yeah, I don't know. Someone's done that on purpose, obviously, to get across. Now, I don't know whether you can get access through the top of here or what, but you can get across when it's tidal. And there's a sty. I don't know, but if I am trespassing, I apologise. If you know the person who owns that field, get them to drop me a message. Do you know what I mean? I would be interested in staying down there, and obviously if I can get permission, then I'd obviously ask. But you know, you don't know until some random voice out of the bushes says you're trespassing. You know what I mean? But it's difficult around here because you don't know. You follow a path, and next thing you know, you're being shouted at by someone in a blind or something. You know? Yeah. I'll get through this bit and I'll bring you back. Yeah, as I was saying about blinds and stuff earlier on, literally, you know, just following a trodden path. There weren't no signs or nothing, and next thing I know, there is a voice from the woodland. You're trespassing, mate. You know, so I immediately look over, see a dark spot, and there's a dude in there, and he's hunting. He's like, we're hunting over here. I don't know what they're hunting. You would have thought like they'd have to put signs up if they're properly shooting. I mean, unless it's air rifle or something, but you know, we do get deer in these woods obviously and things like that, but I don't know whether they're like pheasants or something. But yeah, no real signs up. No, you know, obviously I live near a lot of military places, and you know when there's shooting going on their land, they have the red flags up and stuff, you know. But sneaky beakies in the woods, in their blinds. And you know, when we're doing this stuff, when we're exploring and looking for spots to wild camp and stuff like that, you have to go off the path. You can't stay on a path, you know. To find these cool little spots and interesting spots, you have to go off the track, and unfortunately sometimes you get busted, as I did earlier on. But we got there in the end. But yeah, we're just coming through, and now obviously all the bluebells are out. I'll flip you around. Let's check out the lake, guys. And all these little pontoons or little dock things have been put in new recently, because you can still smell the fresh wood. But yeah, check it out. So there is a track that goes all the way around this lake. Could do a little stealth camp on here. You get run below quicker than that, wouldn't you? Yeah. Could definitely spend the day there on a little chair. Ice box with cold beers. So guys, a lot of this woodland that we're walking through here is actually owned by Nats, like an aerospace place, but also we have the RAF here. So there's an RAF squadron that are based out of this place. So yeah, a lot of this wood is off limits. And then obviously there's cameras and massive fences and stuff around, but I'm just coming through the woods here back to the road. I'll flip you around. Look. So that down there is RAF, and that's, we go this way. He'll be out quicker than that if I stand there filming. Yeah. There we go, guys. Nats at Swanwick, home of the 78th Squadron, Royal Air Force. There we go. Right, let's go. Yeah, I just wanted to show you guys this artwork. I noticed it on the way through, but I say artwork. Some people will call it graffiti. That's pretty decent though. Yeah, the rest of it's not great, but them ones out there were pretty decent. Get out of my swamp. Yeah, let's go. So guys, if you didn't see the last video, the Gypsy Caravan Park, go check it out, because I did the research after I got back, because I didn't know nothing about it, so I thought I'd have a little look, and it turns out the council kicked all the gypsies and travellers off that site. And I say gypsies, don't mean no offence by it, that's what's in the write-up for it, but apparently Winchester Council still acknowledges that as a traveller site, so I guess they could come back at any time, but it's completely trashed, so you know. But did they smash up the caravans and leave them there, or retrospectively is it, you know, kids going up there and smashing it all up? Who knows? Obviously someone knows. But yeah, the only other thing I found out about it was reports about the fires and stuff. So obviously the buildings that got burnt down, the smoke was bellowing across the motorway, so obviously there was a big news and police and fire presence up there. But yeah, right guys, that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed, and do me a favour and like and subscribe. Drop me a comment, let me know what you think about the camping, the hammock camping up there, or you know, if you've seen anything else on my little journey, let me know. And yeah, as Casper Sight would say, do the thing. Cheers guys.
Yeah, boy.